Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little while since we actually spoke about Marvel's Blade reboot that's coming up. And every time we speak about Marvel's Blade, there's almost nothing that's ever good, right? Like, I never say anything good about it because they themselves never have anything good to say about it. It always seems to be in development hell, to be honest with you. This movie has gone through so many different scripts, so many different. I don't even know if it's even started filming, to be honest with you. It's all just kind of stuck in like script hell. They can't figure out what the hell they want to do with it. It supposedly went from being a girl boss thing to a passing of the torch kind of thing with his daughter to now being about strictly Blade. I mean, it really doesn't have an identity that it can kind of tie itself to. But apparently, we have an article here from Screen Rant that says Mahershala Ali gives hopeful MCU Blade movie update after troubling behind the scenes reports and says, "I'm sincerely encouraged." So I'm very curious to see what he actually said. So let's get into this article, guys, from Screen Rant. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. Now, let me preface this video with saying that, listen, I've said time and time again, if you're new to this channel, maybe this is the first time you're hearing me talk about Blade, I had absolutely 100% zero faith that they were going to be able to do Blade justice in the current MCU. It's just not possible, right? Like, in my opinion, they don't have the writers, they don't have the people, they don't have the actual creativity to make a real Blade film. They're going to PG-13 Blade. It's going to be absolutely atrocious. And all the talks about them passing the torch to a female Blade or his daughter or whatever just gave me absolutely nothing to look forward to and zero hope regarding Blade, one of my favorite characters from Marvel. Now, with that being said, let's get into this article. It says, following numerous creative problems with the reboot, Blade star Mahershala Ali breaks his silence on the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Shout out to the real Blade, Wesley Snipes, gotta love him. It says Marvel's Blade reboot is making progress as Mahershala Ali confirms the project is moving forward after creative issues. Finally, Ali is optimistic, saying he is encouraged by the direction of the project and he expects to resume work very soon. This is an exciting Blade update as fans can look forward to the beloved character in the MCU. The Blade reboot is moving forward, and Mahershala Ali gives an update about his Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It has been almost half a decade since it was announced that Ali would play Blade in the MCU after having played Cornell Stokes on Luke Cage. Despite being one of the biggest surprises at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019, Ali's Blade film has faced multiple hurdles along the way, and principal photography has yet to begin. Yeah, so they haven't even actually done anything, ladies and gentlemen. They have done nothing, and it shouldn't really be shocking at this point, right? And it's unfortunate because, again, Blade is such an awesome character, and Mahershala Ali could definitely play Blade properly. I just worry that he's not going to be written well. You know what I mean? I'm just worried that it's going to be held back by the lack of creativity by current modern day writers, that Blade is just not going to be what you would expect Blade to be. Almost nothing that comes out in today's modern entertainment is ever what you expect it to be. It's almost usually a short shot compared to what it could have been if it had a real writer or a real director or real anything behind it. But isn't it crazy how this movie was literally announced in 2019, ladies and gentlemen? It's about to be 2024. That is insane that it has been this long since the announcement and they haven't even begun filming. It's crazy. In an interview with EW, Ali finally broke his silence after all the reported creative issues behind the scenes on the Blade movie. Even though he couldn't give any spoilers or specific plot details, Ali stressed that they will be back at it relatively soon, while also praising the new direction with who's on board and who's leading the way, as he gave the following update. "We're working on it. That's the best I could tell you. I'm really encouraged with the direction of the project. I think we'll be back at it relatively soon. I'm sincerely encouraged in terms of where things are and who's on board and who's leading the way as far as the writing on the script and the directing and all that. So that's the extent of what I can tell you." So it's a lot of it's just up in the air, okay? A lot of it's up in the air. We don't really know what's actually happening, and you basically have to go off the promise of Mahershala Ali. Now, I don't really see as to why he would have any reason to lie, considering that he was one of the open vocal people that was against all the nonsense happening with the Blade reboot. So maybe now he's finally realizing that things are starting to go forward in direction and not backwards, and it's a slow process. I get it. It's a slow process, but it doesn't have to be this slow. Clearly, there is development hell happening on this film, and they seems like they're finally getting their wings and getting out of that hell. But again, I never see a movie do well when it's stuck in development hell like this. Very rarely does anything do well when you're having troubles like this. It goes to show a lack of direction, it goes to show a lack of leadership, and it really, really starts to affect the film negatively in the overall product, right? When you get the final product and you see the movie, it's never as good as it could have been because of what's been happening over time. So I don't have any faith that this is going to be anything decent, but it seems like Ali has some faith. It says, while the Blade movie cast has been intact for the last few years, the creative aspect of the reboot has been the biggest problem for Marvel Studios, as it doesn't seem like they fully know what direction they want to go in. However, the script getting rewritten by Michael Green following the hiring of director Jan Dimanji and committing to a release for November 2025, it seems like Marvel Studios may finally be closer to getting Blade right. With Ali's recent comments, things have clearly begun to improve, as it was reported in November that he was supposedly ready to exit the project. One of the things that Marvel Studios may have been facing as a big challenge is the tone, given that Blade is one of the darker Marvel comic heroes that they are looking to focus on in Phase 5. With this also being a reboot for the Marvel icon, they may also want to make sure he's reinvented so that he fits the larger MCU. To this point, there's been no clear date yet for when they are looking to start filming Blade, but it will likely be in the middle of 2024 at the very least. Now, I don't really see how it would be hard to make modern Blade a thing that would fit into the current MCU. I get it. A lot of MCU movies are overly fake comedic. You know what I mean? Like, they are trying so hard to be funny that most of the time they just kind of fall flat. Like, nobody's really laughing half of the time they make a joke on screen, and the other half you get a little bit of a chuckle here and there, but nothing that really makes you die laughing. But they do try. They try because it's become formulaic at this point. Everybody knows the typical Marvel formula when it comes to comedy. They try to interject it into everything. They think that that's the way that these movies are going to sell, but honestly, it's just not, because it's been proven that these movies are not selling. All these movies are bombing left and right for the most part. It's terrible what's been happening. They're losing tons of money, and they really don't seem to care. They're just going to keep going forward, keep doing what they're doing, and hope that eventually this stuff starts to stick again. But they need a big win. They need a big win. They need a big character win, and it can't be something so obvious like Deadpool. It needs to be something different. It needs to be something people haven't seen recently in the MCU. Blade is going to be that character. If Blade can really hit it out the park, then they have something potentially big on their hands that they can make a lot of money off of and get the hype building in the MCU again. But right now, there is no hype. There is literally zero hype. The MCU is so dead compared to how it was before. It's not even funny. So the article finishes and says, having someone as talented as Ali in the lead role, it is understandable that everyone wants to make sure they get the reboot right. If he ends up being a key player in the MCU for the next couple of years, the Blade solo movie will need to be the best it can be in order to set him up for a great run. And I agree, man. Mahershala Ali, again, is a fantastic actor. I love a lot of the movies that he's been in, and I really do think he's going to kill Blade. He's going to absolutely knock it out the park, but you are just as good as your writers, especially in a movie like this. So if your writers are not on board and they are just completely god-awful, it doesn't matter how good of an actor Mahershala Ali is. He can band-aid it as much as he wants, but the storyline is going to fall flat, and that's going to be very unfortunate for Blade. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.